Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But with that being said, y'all, let's get started. So we are looking at AMD, and y'all know I like to look at the 30-minute chart. I say it so often, it just tells a story. I like to read, right? So pre-market, looks like we bounced off of this ATR trailing stop right here. That's something to think about. Price was here 1, 2, 3, 4 times and moved to the upside, but y'all see we're getting rejected here at a level 209.74. We kind of knew we could possibly have trouble there, right? So where are the trouble places for AMD back to the upside? Again, we will need to clear this area 209.74. Y'all see how it had some sellers there again. Breaking that, we could possibly have trouble again at 210.34, breaking that to 11.01. Should we break that to 11.50? Should we break that level, which is where our 200 EMA is? I love to see that, right? At that place, right? So breaking that level, we could possibly have trouble again to 11.96 and again here at 212.49. So those are possible areas of resistance for AMD today. Again, not financial advice. Now let's look back to the downside. Say we break under this 207.67, we can come back to this area here of 206.36, and y'all see it here. That is our support area as before, right? So breaking that, this is strong support in my opinion. Why? Because we have two areas here. We have a 50 EMA, the ATR trailing stop. That's a lot of support there. So breaking that level, 205.91 area, we have broken through a few layers of support so that we could possibly continue declining, right? So under that 205.91, 204.88, and breaking that 203.79, should we break that 202.90, 201.54, and breaking that brings us back to $200.48. Let's see. Yes, $200.48. Again, those are possible areas of support and resistance for AMD. Not financial advice. Again, y'all, I look at support and resistance on a smaller scale. Why? Because when I'm in the trade, I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places are, right? So we are now looking at Meta. It looks like we kind of did the same thing here, right? So it looks like we bounced off of this support here of 659.07, only to kind of like, looks like we're having trouble in this area of 665.06. Yes. So breaking that, we could possibly have trouble again at 665.79, and breaking that level, I have the next level here of 667.38. Now breaking that, we have an ATR trail and stop at that 668.29, and should we break that for Meta today, we could possibly have trouble 669.41. Now breaking that possibly around 671.64, and should we break that, y'all see the 200 EMA as of right now 672.71, which is not far from a level that I have marked of 673.45. So if you're trading Meta today, those are possible areas of resistance to the upside, right? So now to the downside, let's look at those support areas. 659.89 could be an area of support for us. You see price was here, right? Breaking that, the next level, 659.07. Should we break that? 657.64, and breaking that level, 655.22. And y'all see we've been at that place right here. So breaking that 655.22 for Meta, we could possibly find support again, 654.04. Breaking that, 653.01, and 651.55. Should we break that, 650.02. So those are possible areas of support and resistance for Meta. Again, not financial advice. I say it so often, y'all. Mark your levels, and once it goes against your why or your reason for getting in the trade, get out, right? Live to trade another day. So let's go look at NVIDIA. Yes, it is very, very congested. Let's say that, right? So I've been charting NVIDIA, SPY, and Tesla for a few years now, but again, I kind of know where the possible trouble places are. So looking at NVIDIA today, we closed at 185.41. It kind of looks like a lot of the other ones, right? We bounced off an area only to move up, find that trouble place, which is around 185.16. Now, breaking that 185.16, we could possibly have trouble again 185.60, and again at 185.87. Breaking that 185.87 for NVIDIA today, 186.23. Let's see. 186.23, yes, breaking that, we could possibly have trouble 186.85, 187.37. Those are possible areas of resistance. Now, breaking this area, 187.37, which is here, I had the 187.48. There's another layer here up to, let's say, the 188.23. So those are possible areas of rejection or resistance areas for NVIDIA. Again, not financial advice. Now, breaking this level, we could pass under the 183.74. We can come back to the 183.44 and again 183.30. That could be a area of support for us here. Breaking that, y'all see there's a few layers of support from, let's say, 183.30 down to the 182.81. So there's a few layers of, I'm going to see if I can make, there we are. There's a few layers of support here. One being the 50 EMA and the ATR trailing stop, meaning if we break under, let's say, the 182.71 or the, let's see, this area here, 182.56. That means we've broken through a few layers of support for NVIDIA. That means we could very well keep declining, right? Not financial advice. I'm going to say it again. So, okay, under 182.56 for NVIDIA, we could possibly come back to the 182.28, 182.14, 181.99, 181.73. Breaking that 181.53, not far away, and then the 181.28. Should we break that, 181.07, and breaking that, I'm going to use the 180.78, which is not far from that 200 EMA at 180.88. That's something to be mindful of, pay very close attention to. I said so often, y'all, not financial advice. So if you're trading NVIDIA today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. I say it again, mark your levels. Once it goes against your reason for getting in the trade, get out, right? So we are now looking at the SPY, and we closed at 690.62, which is interesting coming off of this 675 down here, right? So let's see if we can make that a little bit visible for us today, right? So as of now, it seems to be all of them doing the same thing, either bouncing off the ATR trailing stop and moving up and still having that trouble, right? 691.22, if we break above that for the SPY today, 691.73, 692.17, again here at 692.98, breaking that 693.52, 693.96, and should we break that for the SPY today, possibly have trouble again around the 694.52. Again, not financial advice. I would say if you're trading the SPY today, those are possible areas of resistance. Now, under this level here of 689.83, we can come back to 689.45, 688.91. That is kind of close to where our 50 EMA is. Then under that, we could possibly have trouble of 688.15. What will be interesting if we lose this area of support, which is that ATR trailing stop now, 687.99 for the SPY. We can come back to the 687.57, and again at 687.23. Those are possible areas of support. What's interesting for me is if we break under this 687.04, which I have here 686.93, really close, right? That will be our 200 EMA on this 30-minute chart for the SPY. Breaking under that, we've broken through a few layers of support. We could very well come back to the 686.51, and as you can see, there's a few more layers down here to the 685. Let's see, 685.58. So those are possible areas of support for the SPY today. I say, y'all, in this market, anything is possible, right? Because it has been trading interesting. So if the SPY is something that you trade today, I say trade carefully, right? So we are looking at Tesla, and Tesla just does what Tesla Tesla does, right? We closed at 411.11, right? So we are bouncing. We bounced off of that ATR trail and stopped kind of like the rest, right? 409.24 back to the upside. We will need to get back above 412. We were having trouble there. That 412 area, that's the area we were here, right? Area was here. That's something to be mindful of if you're trading Tesla today. Again, not financial advice. It is also where our 20 EMA is if you're using the moving averages. So if we break this level of 412 for resistance, we could possibly have trouble again for 1375. And if we should break that for 1499, breaking that level for 1656 and for 1719, for 1754, if we break that, there's a few layers of resistance we've broken through for Tesla. We could possibly have trouble for 1862, for 1971, and for 2043. Those are possible areas of resistance for Tesla. Now, back to the downside, there's a few layers of support here, right here at this 410.01. However, breaking that ATR trail and stop is interesting. 409.24. Should we break that, you see we were here, yes, on Friday. So breaking this level, we could very well come back to 407.89, breaking that under 407.89, 406.57, again 404.80, 403.68, and here 402.54, which in my opinion could be a strong area of support for Tesla. Breaking that, we could very well come back to $400.56, and under that level 398.09. So if you're trading Tesla today, I say as always, y'all, be careful, trade carefully, mark your levels. Once it goes against your reason for getting in the trade, get out, right? So this is what I see when I look at the market. I say, y'all, there's so many different ways to trade the market, and what's challenging is trying to figure out the strategy that works best for you and for you to have the discipline to execute your plan. That is very, very important. So I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very productive day today. Again, if you could please like, share, subscribe, y'all. I say it so often, we learn and we grow together. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.